Now that's an illustration of stories for children and grown-ups. Because if I get it, of course, for everyone, for the whole spectrum, the whole race, the whole nation, that is an Irish story because you have, or that's a Scottish story. I'm sorry, Scottish story. You have the hillock there, and I love the way you turn the phrases. Your accent certainly fits very well with that one. Where did you get that one?
Well, it was from Jim Strickland, a storyteller.
Again. Are some of these tales written down, or are they orally, passed down orally? Or?
Many of them are written down in some form or another, but what is really required for a storyteller is to actually hear them told. There's so many tales in books and collections all over the place, folk tales of this sort, but one has to hear them in order to be able to fully appreciate them.
I have a book that I'm going to show you after the show. It's called Scary Stories for a Dark Night by Alvin Schwartz, an American. They may not suit your idiom, but I think I've told some from that one, and they're very funny and they're spooky and it's good for ghostly nights and so on. I want you to tell us a little bit about, you've done some storytelling in Toronto as well.
Yes, I have.
And could you tell us a little bit about that and about the Storytellers School, just in case we have some viewers who fancy themselves storytellers and are interested. Cameron?
Well, there is a Storytellers School in Toronto. That's on, what do you want, the address or whatever? Just
sure.
talk about what
Brunswick,
it is.
it's on, was it on Brunswick Avenue?
It's actually on College Street in Toronto. 412A College Street in Toronto. And what they do is provide workshops for people who are interested in learning how to tell stories to various age groups or in various situations, like in libraries or schools or just to their own kids. And they teach you how to tell stories to various age groups, or tell you where to find the stories and where to hear them and how to tell them most effectively.
Every Friday night there's a special event in Toronto, though everyone is invited.
Yes, it's
on Brunswick, isn't it?
Yes,
Brunswick
it's in
Avenue.
Brunswick Avenue at the old School of Art. I forget the address exactly, but it's on Brunswick. And you could get that information through the Storytellers School in Toronto.
Well, they could get that information from you.
Oh, they could get that from me also, yes,
because
that's true.
They have your phone number. The viewers could give you a call, and you could tell them every Friday night. It's on Brunswick Avenue, and it's called 1001 Nights.
That's correct.
And then my next question is, have you got anything like this in Sudbury, or are you planning on doing anything? Or maybe we should ask the viewers if they're interested to give you a call.
Well, I would certainly be interested in formulating such a storytellers club or evening or whatever, because as far as I'm concerned, the best way to learn a story and to learn it well is to tell it. And to have a focus, an event, a storytelling club or storytelling school where people who have a like mind as far as stories are concerned, to tell them amongst themselves. You have a ready-made audience who is lapping up stories, and you learn to develop your own storytelling skills. It would be great to have that interest in the Sudbury area.
Many librarians and teachers are already excellent storytellers, but I'm sure that they would be interested in hearing more stories, getting more sources, and maybe sharing stories with other people. So this is an invitation that Stewart Cameron, I hope you don't get plagued with 80,000 phone calls, but
well,
maybe
I hope
you do.
If there's that kind of interest, I'd be
Stewart
very
wants
interested in
80,000 phone calls, and you will see his number on the screen from time to time during the time when he was telling stories. He would like to start, I think what you're saying is you would really like to have a storytelling group, a group of spinners or whatever you want to call yourselves, and maybe do it on a regular basis. Have you thought about doing it for Café Boreal?
Well, we have thought about doing it for that. Usually it takes a particular ear for an audience to appreciate storytelling. So usually we try, or I try as a performer, try to put in a story in amongst the other musical stuff that I do, so that I develop an awareness of what storytelling is all about.
So
but it takes a particular ear. I think that
you have to have a special place?
It requires a special place. We've tried to tell stories at the festival, as you realized last year, but open-air festivals, there's a little too many distractions around to really concentrate on what's being told. It takes a particular kind of storyteller to pull it off in the open air.
I heard some fine stories at the festival, at the Northern Lights Book Festival, Festival Boreal, and I really appreciated them. And I was delighted to meet you and to the other fellows that were there telling stories as well. You're right, you have to have a particular ear, but more than that, you have to have a good storyteller. And I think you would agree with me that Stewart Cameron is a good storyteller. I've certainly enjoyed both the tales that you told today, and by popular request, you'll be coming back again to tell more tales. And
thank you.
Now, the different kinds of storytelling. You said the ballad, which is what you did first, the recitation, and then the tall tale. That seems to lend itself. The lies are the best stories, aren't they?
Well, they're most interesting for me to tell. I like being able to get away and tell lies.
Tell a few whoppers.
Yes.
Swapping lies. Maybe you could call your storytelling. The Storytelling School is in Toronto, but I don't see any reason why you can't have a branch here in Sudbury. And I'm quite willing to do whatever is necessary to promote it or whatever. And that was one of the reasons that I invited you to come, because you're open for storytelling, as you said, anywhere, anytime, any place. You've already been to some schools, so you'll have some fans watching. Did you say Churchill Public School?
Well, Churchill, and I've told stories at Robert Jack and Garson as well, and various other locations throughout the city.
And through the Spectra program, every school has a little booklet that says...
Yes, they've been, the catalogs have been distributed with all of our various craftspeople and performers that are available throughout the district and the north.
So they would go to the principal and the teachers that are watching the program, and I know I have a lot of teacher friends because I've been doing some workshops up here in storytelling myself, so I know I have a lot of friends, so they know that if they go to their principals and ask for the Spectrum, is it?
The Spectra catalog.
Spectra catalog full of performers, storytellers, and so on. Stewart Cameron, you're coming back again next week.
Yes.
Thank you with more stories. Thank you very much. It has been a pleasure, and thank you for joining me. I hope you have an absolutely fabulous day, and see if you can't hunt up some stories and give me a call, because I'm always anxious to hear more and more storytellers. See you next week, and break a leg.
This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. This little light of mine, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. On everybody here, I'm